Right, evening guys. I thought I would do a little video. I posted a video the other day that I was sorting through my tackle boxes. I jokingly said that I was going to end up using the same 5 lures that I always do, and that is pretty much the case. But with that said, I have a solid idea and a plan for where I'm going to go. I know the ground I'm going to be fishing over, and I'd like to think I know where I'm going to be fishing, and I think I know where I'm going to find some of my early fish. So I've put together my little early season tackle box that I'm going to be carrying with me. I've challenged myself to try to stop carrying as much gear as I tend to end up doing, because I just carry around boxes and boxes of stuff and end up using the same 4 or 5, maybe 6 lures, and that's it. If you get your patterns and your profiles right for the ground that you're fishing, then you shouldn't really need to carry a lot of stuff. Obviously, if you're prospecting or fishing lots of different types of areas in one day, then you're going to carry more. And if you're trying out lots of new stuff, then great. But I think I've whittled down my early season selection to what will follow. There probably won't be many surprises here for many of you, if any of you, to be fair. But if you're just starting out and you're wondering what you should have in your box early season, this is what I'm going to carry. I'm going to be fishing predominantly shallow ground. I'm going to be looking for spots where they've had the sun on it during the day, and then the tide's going to flood over at overload. Just see the fish get a little bit of warmth. Bladderwrack, bubbleweed, rocky areas, places that have got potentially peeling crabs, prawns, blennies, gobies, etc, etc. There'll be very, very little in the way of bait fish around for us for a little while yet. We should start to see some early pin, sand eel, the really small ones, end of March maybe. Depends on the water, but it's stayed pretty warm this winter, so hopefully we'll have a really early kickoff. So without further ado, no shock for anyone who knows me, I'm going to be carrying some spindle worms. I've found this colour. I've got IU, which is the staple classic colour, and this is my last one of these. I need to get some more. This is the Gripan colour. I especially like this at night, but I really like fishing it through the pools and stuff as well. Really, really great colour that. I'm going to rig those in a various amount of ways. I know I need to stock up on some weedless jig heads for when I'm really fishing through the heavy bladderwrack, but I do like to more and more these days fish my paddle tails with an open hook. So I do now use very, very simple HTO jig heads. That's a 7 gram. I've got some 5 gram, 7, 5, 10 is about enough for where I'm fishing, generally speaking. But I will want to pick up some Decoy Violence or Texas Power jig heads as well. And I will also fish them with a belly weight. It's a HTO twist lock with a 3.5 gram belly weight. What I like about these is the belly weight is the same, 3.5 grams, right the way through the size range from 2.0 to 7.0, I believe. So the size of the bait can get bigger and bigger if you want to, but that wheel, that keel weight on that weedless swim bait hook, that keel weight, just to tighten things up and just to let it come down a little bit in the water, not necessarily to be fishing the bottom, remains the same. I have got a 4-inch spindle. I've not used these. I had some once and I felt like they looked too small, but I'm going to scale down my approach a lot this year. I'm going to be fishing with lighter gear, and that's just for the fun element. I've been out of the game a little bit and I just want to catch some fish. So that is a selection of spindle worms. If I could leave home with nothing else, then I would leave home with spindles. Always been the same. If I could add a frosty to that, happy days. But I won't carry top waters for a little while yet. Then I'm going to carry a couple of Evo Bass Sabres. These are the 130s. I don't tend to fish quite so big early in the season anyway, so these are perfect. I've got a white one, and I've got a white and chart one, which if the water's filthy, I'll clip on. I don't have a lot of faith in a chart lure, but I'm going to carry them and give them some time because I know people do catch on them around here. So that's obviously a confidence thing for me. If I get some sight casting opportunities, which you often can, at this time of the year when the sun's on the shallows, the fish will come in to bask in that a little bit. So if I get some sight casting opportunities, or if the fish are in the really shallow rock pools and I want to cast 2 fish without spooking them too much, I'm going to rig a Do Live weightless. I've got a white one for if the water's a bit murky or first thing in the morning, and I've got this smoky grey colour. These are the 4.5 inch, I think. I have got a bigger Wakasagi one as well, but I'll probably leave that at home for a little while. And these dropped onto the deck in front of a moving fish and then twitched, or just wound in, you know, direct retrieve or a little bit of a twitch on them, can be deadly. So they're going in the box. I've got a fairly new addition for me. This is a Rooney's Fishing Lures Mini Slapper. Makes some really, really nice lures. This blue prawn colour caught me a few fish at the back end of last year, so the local fish obviously like it. I like the size. It's a really, really vibrant paddle. Big T on the paddle tail there, nice and wide, lovely and square. And it really does, with the short tail on that lure, it really does vibrate quite hard. So, you know, early fish, they need a little bit of help sometimes locating it and something to switch them on. So that is going in the box. And then if I do happen to see any pin sand deal about, sometimes they can turn up earlier than expected. I've got a small Fish Crazy paddle tail in gold, my favourite colour. There's a joke there, but I won't bother. But I'll have one of these in the box at all times now, because they are deadly. They're absolutely deadly. I've been a really big convert to these in the last couple of years after being put onto them by friends, and they are absolutely first class. So there'll be one in the box as a sort of backup, just in case I start seeing some pin sand deal about. I'll fish that on a straight retrieve, but I'll also try and pitch it and let it fish on the drop. That tail really, really, really wiggles as that lure is dropping. And then the final one, bang on trend, is a dark sleeper. I have got some Z-Man Gobius coming as well, so they will go in a very, very separate box. But these are bang on trend. I have been using goby patterns for quite some time now. A lot of my fishing with a spindle worm is done to replicate gobies and blennies, especially this colour. So I'm going to try and catch some fish on a dark sleeper and the Z-Man Gobius as well. I've got a lot of confidence that they will do me fish if I put them in the right place. So yeah, that's it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patterns, some variations of. There is some different rigging options I've got with different weedless jig heads, open jig heads, swim bait hooks, weightless with the spindles, and the Evo Bass Sabre 130s. And also, if you want to, you can weight these Do Lives, but I always prefer to fish these weightless. I like the way they slalom. These have got a weight built in. Crazy paddle tails have got a weight built in, and the little slapper I like on a swim bait hook, but I'm sure it would look great on a little decoy violence as well. So whilst you don't necessarily need to carry loads and loads and loads of lures, you do have loads of different rigging options with soft plastics, and I think that's why they're so popular now. You know, one bag of lures can do you so many different ways, so many different presentations to suit so many different situations, and you know, different areas, different ground, etc. So that's my early season box. Various jig heads, various hooks and stuff like that I will use. You know, if I can get some stuff from the sponsor to suit, then happy days. But if I do need to use Texas Power or Decoy Violence or whatever, I'll absolutely use those too. Hope that helps somebody. If not, whatever, it's helped me confirm in my head that I'm doing the right thing. And I think very often that's really, really important, just to be fishing with absolute focus and clarity, that you've got a plan. If you've got a plan, you'll believe in it. If you believe in it, you're confident. And if you're confident, you will catch more fish. Hope that helps. Keep them tight.